In this section, I am discussing two more data collection or data structures, that is WeakMap and WeakSet. This can be a map and set category topic, and there are two relative questions, though there are many other minor questions I am discussing in this topic. So let's begin with WeakMap and WeakSet. WeakMap and WeakSet are two more data structures provided by ES6. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that you must know the concept of garbage collection to get a good understanding on the topics of this section. Please check the garbage collection chapter in the JavaScript language category before you move ahead with this section. Alright, so I will discuss WeakMap first. Let's assume a situation where you have a map like this. Inside this map, you just want to put an object as a key, say for example like this. Now, this key, in case which is an object, at later stage if you set it to null or for some reason this object gets free. So internally it will be something like this, where you have this object and the location of this value, for example name, will be something like this. So when the object is set to null, this value which is added as a key inside the map will not be removed even if the garbage collection is executed. Actually, this value is a kind of value which has lost the parent reference. This object is set to null, so the reference is gone. But still, because you have added it to map collection, when the garbage collection is executed, this will not be removed because it is strongly held by map. Whereas WeakMap holds these keys weakly, that is, these keys are held weakly. So what happens when, if you set this as a WeakMap instead of map, then this particular value, when it is set to null and if the garbage collection is executed, this value will also be removed from the collection, which doesn't happen with the map. So this is the whole concept of holding the keys weakly or in a strong manner. Map and set hold the keys in a strong way, whereas WeakMap and WeakSet are basically holding it weakly. That's the only difference we see while using WeakMap and WeakSet. Let's discuss about few points where the WeakMap is really different. Number one, keys in the WeakMap are only objects. You cannot have primitive keys like string, number, etc., which we did with map. Number two, keys are weak or weakly held, and it means if the keys are garbage collected, so do the values. Number three, because of weak keys, WeakMap collection does not have iterable methods like keys, values, or entries. And number four, weak collections do not hold values when the garbage is collected. This is very handy with the DOM, where DOM nodes are removed and garbage collected locations will be free as they are not held strongly. Just to have an example, let's see this code. If I run this code, as you can see that it is giving the error because the key here, the P code, is a string and it's not an object. So if I want to create a WeakMap, this is how I'm going to do it. Let product is equal to new WeakMap. Now I'm going to have an object, and as you can see now I'm using product.set and I'm writing the obj itself and setting a value also. As long as getting a value is concerned, certainly we can have the get method with WeakMap also. We do have has method as well, but all those iteration methods we cannot have with WeakMap or even WeakSet. So let's try this. Let's run the code and see what happens. So we get the value here. WeakSet is also weakly held collection of objects, and that too unique ones. The behavior is the same as WeakMap. Values are removed on garbage collection if there is no direct reference of the object. Let's create one example with WeakSet. I'll say let product is equal to new WeakSet. Let me try an object here. Let's run the code. As you can see that it displays the values here. But this is a weak set. Now we cannot see that how a garbage collection happens and these values are lost, because this process is something which is executed behind the scene, but you can get the idea, in which case you can use WeakMap. These weak collections are also used when you want to make sure that there is no memory leakages, because whenever there is a garbage collection executed, the lost references value, that is not reachable values, are always cleared. They are cleared from the collection also, they are removed from the collection also. So in a way you are making sure by using the weak collections that there is no leakages. Of course, if your code is written in a proper way, the references are properly removed in a proper sequence, then anyway you will not face any memory leakage issue. And I have already mentioned in garbage collection discussion that the newer browsers are far better when it comes to dealing with memory management. There are two relative questions to this topic. The first question is the difference between map and weak map. So we have already seen that these are the differences. And the second question is difference between set and weak set. So these are the points you can consider for the difference.